Hey everybody, Real Estate Ninja here. I hope you're doing well. Stuck in an airport today, and I wanted to do a live stream on buying a home or a rental property in this market, the one we're seeing right now. We are going to see some crazy, topsy-turvy stuff. Here, I'll just give you an idea where I'm at. I was just sitting on the ground in an airport. First off, I want to talk to you about the concept of never taking no as an answer. I've told this story before, but I'll just briefly highlight it. The first time I ever went to buy a home, the first loan person that we spoke to, loan broker, left my wife in tears and embarrassed because she said that there was no way we could afford a house. That fired me up, and within 60 days, not only did we close on that house, in under a year I had my first rental. It's because I did not accept the word no. That's number one thing that you need to understand. There are so many people that I've came across, not only in the course, like my students in the How to Prepare for the Real Estate Crash Course, but also on the street that say that they truly never believe that they can buy a house, yet they pay rent. Yet their finances, a lot of them are in actually pretty clean order. Blows my mind. So don't take no for an answer. And how do you deal with that? You got to get the naysayers out of your life. And most of the time, the naysayers in our lives are our family and friends, those that are closest to us. And you need to realize that sometimes you just need to spend a little bit less time around them. You need to be around people that are go-getters, people that don't accept the word no. All right? That sounds funny, but it's so fundamentally basic. It's a joke. It's like the time I went and spent a ton of money for a guru to show me what I was doing wrong in a business. And all he said is, after he looked at everything, he said, "You need to do more." And that was it. I know it sounds crazy. There's a little bit more to it, but essentially he says you need to do more of this that's working and do less of what is not working. Stop doing less, and it was just something fundamentally that I was in this cycle. And so many people are stuck in that cycle. Now, this next year is going to be full of twists and turns because of the election year, because the Federal Reserve and how politically driven it is, because it is a private bank and it wants to stay in power as far as being a central bank. There are going to be some flips and turns, and every time we hit a point in any the end of a life cycle of the stock market, whether it's a boom and then a bust, it doesn't just go straight up and straight down. On a long-term chart, these always look like these spikes. But what you could do is when you zoom into that spike and you get really close, what you'll see at the top of that spike is this fluttering, these gyrations, akin to like what happens to the human heart before it shuts down. We'll go into ventricular fibrillation. I always say that word wrong. And it just flutters, right? That's what you're going to see this year. You're going to see a lot of crazy news because there's ultimately the National Association of Realtors that want to cheer on real estate, and they're going to show you like what you've just seen, all of the news about, more interest rates are collapsing, they're dropping, these are amazing numbers. They're really not. They're only down less than 1%. Still nowhere near the amount it needs to be for the average person to have faith that they can buy a home and make that mortgage payment going forward. We're going to see all kinds of cheerleading when it comes to that. Like, mortgage rates have dropped, now's the time to buy in. And it's going to be like that last little dip. But you have on the other side of all those cheerleaders screaming you should buy, there's never been a better time to buy real estate, you're also going to have unbelievable, it's my announcement for my flight. My point being is that we are in a point where you have on the other side, the flip side of the economy, the unbelievable layoffs that are happening right now. A technology called artificial intelligence that is going to take so many jobs. And it's already begun, but most people can't see that. It's akin to the creation of the internet, and when people like Katie Couric and the people on the mainstream media were laughing at those that were saying, mail is just going to be all delivered on the internet. And they didn't see the cycles. And that's a big deal. So you're going to see more and more layoffs. You're going to see more and more troubles in the economy. So you're going to have those. This is that year where everything's shifting. I I'd be remiss to say I'll put some more of those links, the 80% off to the crash course. I'm going to call it the I'm Stuck in the Airport discount today. If you want to plan, and how to see things. But there are deals right now, but you have to learn. You have to come under some kind of really good form of teaching or start instructing yourself and buying books on the matter, because just simply buying rentals without putting a massive amount down is a skill that needs to be taught. You need to learn it. Most people that say they're real estate investors, they went and took a big chunk out of their 401k and put down 20, 30% on this rental just to get it to cash flow a couple $100 a month. That is not being an investor. A savvy investor uses the littlest amount of money to break even or cash flow, and then eventually pulls that money out and goes and buys another one. That's a savvy investor. Buying more real estate. Savvy investors also know that the more properties you buy, the better you get at this skill. It's like honing a skill. I don't know everything in real estate, right? But when I was buying real estate, just hand over fist, way before the Great Recession, I was buying property every 6 to 8 weeks in the peak of things. I was flipping blank properties, blank lots. I was buying and flipping homes. I was buying fourplexes to hold for cash flow. We had multiple entities set up. There was a lot going on, and that's how I gained the skills, but also the ability to see that last crash coming. And these crashes take a long time, and we're in that time where people are very confused and people are starting to get very fearful. We're starting to see inventory tick up, and I believe you're going to see a big inventory tick up in June, not only because foreclosures are going to officially hit the market because of Dodd-Frank, but because you're going to see also people saying, all right, this is my best chance to sell the house because interest rates are dipping a little bit, and they're going to push into the market in the spring. And we're going to be able to visualize and talk about those stories. I'm going to be sharing those stories on this channel, because it's so important to watch the day-to-day changes, but never forgetting the long-term trend, okay? Just like, when people say that it's always a good time to buy a house because housing always goes up, because they see that long-term, like 50-year chart. Well, that's because the destruction of your currency is happening. Inflation's happening. But what they don't realize is the millions of people that lost their homes when they bought them in 2005, 2006, only to give them back to the bank, even if they could make the payment. I watched people hand the house back to the bank because the house was underwater. Now think about what's going on right now. Nationally, the National Association of Realtors have already acknowledged, median home prices around the country are dipping. So that means anyone that bought in the last handful of months, they're in negative territory. And you're already seeing month-on-month declines of 1% or more. So it's going to get bigger. So my flight's taking off. I'm going to put 80% off links down below to the course. I'm closing the course to all new students as of January 1st. So if you want to jump in now, jump in. And I can promise you this. I give a money-back guarantee, 14-day money-back guarantee, that you'll be blown away with what you learned for $199. The Real Estate Ninja is out.